come on. Go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left. Now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Because we know you got big goals. And you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose. You speak out on your faith. And you shift up in your journey. Because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast, Drop the Expiring Act with your host, Belly of QueenBayGoals.com. Reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. Alright, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown. Hey. Welcome. So you are listening to episode 3 of the Drop the Aspiring Act podcast. And right now we are going through our Act Like, Think Like series. So, if this is the first time that you are listening to the podcast, welcome. I just want to let you know that we have just started, so you haven't missed much. So go back and listen to episodes 1 and 2, and also the introductory episodes, so you get an understanding of what the podcast is all about and our Act Like, Think Like series. So this episode is called Act Like, now I'm forgetting my own stuff. Act like an asset, right? Think like an entrepreneur. And Drop the Aspiring Act. The podcast is all about, dropping the act of being an aspiring entrepreneur, an aspiring author, an aspiring business owner, an aspiring VP, like if you're on the career ladder path or whatever it is. It's about dropping that aspiring act and going after the thing that you want. And that includes 1, start taking action. Like actually start doing the things that are going to make you that things that you are aspiring to be. And 2, start changing your mindset. Because part of the reason why you've been an aspiring fill in the blank is because you're probably still in the same mindset that's not going to get you to your next level. So you have to start thinking about shifting your mindset. So that's where the Act Like, Think Like series comes in, right? So act is where you're going to start taking some action, and then think is how you start shifting your mindset into start thinking, okay, this is what I need to think about when I want to be, in this case we're talking about entrepreneurs, but understand that, and I wanted to get that clear in the beginning, an entrepreneurial mindset does not mean that you want to be an entrepreneur. So get that very clear. Having an entrepreneurial mindset does not mean you want to run a business. It's just a different way of thinking. You can have an entrepreneurial mindset in your job. Like if you're still working in a place today, you can have an entrepreneurial mindset. And I'm going to say that word before this podcast is over, right? You can have an entrepreneurial mindset in your job. It's not about whether you want to run your own business. Because a lot of people have an entrepreneurial mindset and they have no intentions of running a business. Right? But that's just the way that they think. So that's why they probably get a lot more opportunities when it comes up at work, because they already have that open and creative mindset that they just go above and beyond what's called for. So I'm not going to get into the second half because we have to start with the act like. And in this case, it's act like an asset. So let's just jump into it. So act like an asset is simply understanding the value that you bring to the table, whether in your business, whether in your job. It's knowing what it is that you do great, right? It's understanding the value that you bring to the table. So if you have no clue what that is, 1, I'm going to need you to sit down and do a mental analysis, right? Go into your mind and think about, while I'm at work, everybody always comes to ask me to do X. Whatever X is, it's probably something that you're very good at because everybody's coming to you to do it. So that's one thing that you bring to the table. That's one thing that you have value with, right? But the other thing is, think about whether or not that's something you really want to be known for, or that's the value that you want to bring to the table, right? Because it's not just about, okay, I'm great at this, so that's the value that I bring to the table. But also think about, well, what is it that you really want to be known for, right? Thinking about your personal brand. Because whether or not you think that you have one, you have a personal brand. Because when people see you in, whether it's a meeting room, whether it's on, let's say, YouTube, whenever people see you, they already have a mental note of what it is that they think about you. So what it is that you either bring to the table, if you make them laugh, if you make them cry, like, I don't want to go near her because she has an attitude all day. Like, all of that is part of your personal brand. So whether you think you have one or not, you do have a personal brand. But think about what it is that you want your personal brand to be, right? So what is it that you bring to the table? What is it that you bring that's valuable? I need you to start thinking about those things. And I also need you to start owning it, right? Especially if people, they come to you regularly because you are great at Excel spreadsheets. Let's just say Excel spreadsheets. You are awesome at Excel spreadsheets. Anytime anybody has a question about Excel, they run to you. So that means that that's something that you are definitely good at, might even be great at, right? So that's something that you bring to the table. So especially for those of you who are still working in a company, or if that's where you want to be, that's great. And you're trying to get up to your next level. When you're in your performance meetings with your boss, you should be bringing that up. Be like, hey, everybody comes to me because I am great at Excel, right? And your boss should probably know that already. So anything that you feel that you're valuable is a skill that you have, you need to understand what that is. And if you're not thinking of anything, think about what it is that everybody comes to you for, right? And then also think about, okay, what else is it that I want to be known for? So I'm great at Excel, because we're going to stick with that example, right? But I'm not so great at Microsoft Project, right? But you want to be known for the person who does Microsoft Project, but you're not great at it yet. If this is something that you want to develop, a skill that you want to develop, a skill that you want to be able to offer your business, a skill that you want to be able to offer the company that you work for, that doesn't mean because you don't know it yet that you can't go out and learn it, right? If this is something of value that you want to bring to your company, to your business, go out there and learn it, because there are so many different places that you can go to today to learn about how to do anything. You can go Google it. You can go check YouTube. You can go, so many people are selling courses and all these different things. I mean, you have a plethora of options to up your skills. So if you don't think that you have any skills right now, or there are other skills that you want to add to your plate, to your personal brand, to your skill set, then go ahead and start looking into it. Start doing whatever it is that you need to do to start learning it and practicing it and incorporating that into what it is that you already bring to the table, so that you can bring even more to the table. So understand the value that you're bringing and provide that value to your organization or your business or the people that you interact with and work with on a regular basis. Now, the other side of that. Yes, there's another side before we start going into the think like part, because we're still acting like an asset, which means providing value to your company or your business. The other side of that I want you to understand is also know when you are being valued, right? So it's providing value to your company, yes, but also understand when you know you are being valued. And if you're in a place where you're not being valued, and your skill sets that you're bringing to the table, they are just brushing it off like, oh, that's like child's play. Even though you know you're doing a great job. They know you're doing a great job. But sometimes they kind of tell you that when they don't want to give you a promotion, or they don't want to pay you more money, right? They kind of tell you, oh, that's not really a skill set. That's not really a huge thing that you do. Like, they downplay the skill sets that you bring. Understand when you're not being valued in the place that you're in, right? So it's all about bringing the value and understanding when you are being valued. I need you to look at both. So that's the acting like an asset, right? Bringing value to wherever it is that you are in life, whether it's to your business or your job, and also knowing when you are being valued and when it may be time for you to start walking away. Because acting like an asset means that you're going to bring that value every day. And if these people around you aren't appreciating it, maybe it's time to go somewhere else where they can appreciate your value. So we're going to act like assets going forward, right? Because I'm watching you and you're nodding. Because I can see you in my head. You guys are nodding. You are going to act like an asset in whatever it is that you do. And if you don't have the 100% skills yet, if you're just at 50%, you're going to go out there and learn it until you get up to your 100%. And that's the value that you're going to bring and continue to bring to your business and to your job. All right. And if you need to hear all that again, I need you to just go back, hit rewind, replay. If you need me to tell you again, rewind, replay, because in this life we are going to start acting like assets, and we're going to be bringing value everywhere we go, and we're going to understand when it's time to walk away when we're not being valued. All right, so I'm going to stop preaching on that. Let's get into the think like, and in this case we're thinking like an entrepreneur. And like I said, thinking like an entrepreneur does not necessarily mean that you want to run your own business. But here's a couple of things that, and I want to get a good definition of what an entrepreneur mindset is, just so you guys can understand. So I went to, and I'm just pulling it up on my screen so I can tell you guys, so I don't misquote. So I went to hacktheentrepreneur.com, and their definition of entrepreneur mindset is: it's a way of thinking that enables you to overcome challenges, be decisive, and accept responsibility for your outcomes. It is a constant need to improve your skills, learn from your mistakes, and take continuous action on your ideas. Anyone willing to do the work can develop an entrepreneur mindset. All of that, everything I just said, came from hacktheentrepreneur.com on what is an entrepreneur mindset. So hear that there's nowhere in there that says an entrepreneur mindset means you run your own business. Right? Nowhere in there says that. But I want you to start thinking like an entrepreneur, or having an entrepreneur mindset. So here's what that means. Besides all the things that I just told you, right? An entrepreneur mindset, it basically means like when you are in your business or in your job, you are making decisions and you're making them quick, right? And you're not that you're not thinking about the pros and cons of each decisions, but you're not like prolonging a decision because you want to go over analyze it, or you want to make sure that it's perfect. Nobody got time for that, right? And when we get to the quarter of the podcast, you'll understand what I mean. Nobody has time to all this extra time to be over analyzing something, right? You make decisions and you make them quickly and you make them fast. Whether or not it's going to be a positive or a negative outcome, you just make the decision and you own whatever the decision is that you make, right? So it's about being decisive and making those decisions and making them fast. I don't remember who said it, but somebody says you have to fail fast, right? You fail fast and you get it out of the way. Fail and get it out of the way. If the decision that you made led to a failure, good. You failed, you learn from it, and then you move on. But you did it quickly rather than spending 3 months over analyzing it, then making a decision, then still failing. Now look at that. You just lost like 3 months, right? And then you still got to go do something else. So in that first month, you should have made a decision and let it go. Realize that, oops, we made a mistake. We have to go back to the table, right? But you still caught up. You got that 2 months left where you can make a better decision because you made that decision early on, right? Next thing about having an entrepreneurial mindset, when you're making your decisions and you're owning it, you have to be confident in that, right? It's not, I don't know if this is a good decision, but I'm just going to go with it. No, own it. This is the decision that we're taking. This is the direction that we're going. This is my decision, and we're going to move forward, right? That's being confident and owning the decision that you're making. So that's part of having an entrepreneurial mindset. So, and I'm looking at my list because I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. And it says here, be accountable and take responsibility, which I was already talking about, right? So you see, I'm on the right track. So we already talked about that. So the other thing is being coachable. Now, being coachable basically means that you are open to ideas and suggestions from other people, right? You're not like boxing and this is your way or the highway, right? You're listening to new ideas from different sources, right? And you're not just always getting it from one source, right? So being coachable means you being able to take in all these different things and being able to apply it to your life and or your decisions, whatever it is that you're doing to move forward. So being just open and not just being closed in and it's your way or the highway. So One other place that I want to mention, because it's like talking about entrepreneurs, and it's probably a good resource if you want to go that route. Entrepreneur.com, which says for those who have entrepreneurial mindsets, some of the things that they should do is they should be scared, but let that fear drive you to greatness. But then they also said, but also be fearless. This is from entrepreneur.com. 2 more things. They said, don't be afraid of change, and also to accept challenges. So think about the mindset that you currently have, and then think about it in regards to the things that I've just said. So do you think that you have an entrepreneurial mindset? Right? Do you accept challenges that come on? Do you make quick decisions? Do you let fear hold you back from making your decisions? Are you confident in decisions that you make? So if you answer no, so the last one I have to think about the other question, but if you answer no, it's probably you need to start doing a mindset shift, right? Start shifting your action. Start being more decisive. Start being more confident. Start owning it and taking responsibility, right? Start being able to take ideas from other places and be open to suggestions and new ideas. And then just running with it. And it doesn't mean that you can't run with it scared. You can be a little bit scared, but that doesn't mean you don't go forward. We're still moving forward, right? So we are going to drop the aspiring act in whatever it is that we're doing. We're going to drop the aspiring act in being an author. We're going to drop the aspiring act in being an entrepreneur. We're going to drop the aspiring act in getting ourselves to that VP level in our office. And like I said, we're not kicking out the boss out of the office. We're going to work our way up. If you listen to my first episode, you know what I'm talking about. So go back and listen if you have not. And then we always end every podcast with a quote of the podcast. And for this one, it says it's by John Bon Jovi. When I looked it up, most people said it's a song that he did. So I'm just going to say it was by John Bon Jovi. Or the band did. I'm sorry. But it is, success is failing 9 times and getting up 10. But as you know, I always have to put my twist on the quote. So my twist on the quote is fail 9 times and get up 11 times. Because by that 11th time, you should understand that failure is a part of the process and your pathway to success. I'm going to say it again. So my twist on the fail 9 times or success is failing 9 times and getting up 10. My quote is, fail 9 times and get up 11 times. Because that by that 11th time, you should understand that failure is a part of the process and pathway to success. And here's why I say that, right? We say fail or fall 9 times and get up 10. Because every time you fall, you're going to get up. But here's the thing, especially when you're going after something new or something that you've never done before. If you understand that what we call failure is usually like, okay, I didn't know something, I didn't know that this was going to happen because I've never done it before. So it's kind of a bit of a setback. I learn from it and I move forward, right? But again, with our mindset and the way that you think, we have to realize at some point that it's not necessarily a failure, right? And it's not necessarily you falling down because it's part of the process that you didn't know. So at some point we have to accept that, okay, I'm going to come upon something or a challenge that I didn't anticipate because I've never been here or I've never been in that place before. But we need to stop looking at it as like, okay, I failed because I didn't look out for this, right? Or I fell because I didn't look out for this. You need to start thinking and changing your mindset to be like, you know what? I didn't fail. I didn't fall. This is a part of the process. This is something that I didn't know. And this is a place where I'm at where I have to understand, okay, I'm going to learn from this and I'm going to step up and move on and get to my next level, right? So it's not about the failure. It's about understanding that at some point you're going to get to a place where you don't know where to go, or it just, whatever you were working on collapses because it was something that you didn't know. But it's part of the process, right? And we go forward from there. So understand that. So it's no more, I fall, I get up. I fall, I get up. I fall, I get up, right? It's saying, oh, there's a rock in front of me. I need to maybe stop. I need to understand what this point means, because it's probably because I lack some information, or the world changed from what we anticipated and it just didn't work because something has changed. Now we have to change our approach, change our method, change the way that we're thinking. And it's a growing point, right? And then you just move forward. You don't fall. You don't fail. You just start learning. And you start going forward because you understand that it's a part of the process, right? So the word failure in itself kind of brings it down, brings the tone down like, well, you failed? No, it's not a failure. It's just a learning point. And once you start shifting your mindset to understand, okay, this is a learning point. I'm going to have to understand what I can take from this situation, take from this experience, take from this, I didn't get the results that I expected, and I'm going to move forward. All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox on my new quote. You'll probably see it up on my Instagram page. I'll probably be posting it sometime this week or later next week. If you have not listened to episode 0, which was the introduction, that's why I call it episode 0, and 1 and 2, please go back and listen to it. So this podcast is available on Apple Podcast, Google Play Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere that podcasts are available. And if it's not, I need you to DM me or send me a message and let me know. Look, I listen to my podcast on, I'm going to make something up, like Castbox, I think is one of them. It's on Castbox, but I'm just going to say, you saying that you don't find it on Castbox and that's where you normally listen to your podcast, just send me a message. And then I'll go on there and submit my podcast so that when you start looking for a podcast out there, you find mine in that. But I wanted to make sure that it was on the major platforms. So you should be able to find my podcast on any of the platforms that's out there because I pushed it out to several. But if it's not on a podcast platform that you normally listen to, just let me know. Right? Because I'm easy like that. See, I can learn from you. I can accept that information from you. Like maybe this is an up and coming app and this is what you normally listen to and the podcast isn't there yet. I can learn from you, right? And I can go and push it out there so that you'll be able to get it. So I'm open to the information and I'm open to learning. Okay, maybe I need to start pushing myself out there because, the tweens are using this podcast, right? All right, so this episode was called Act Like an Asset, Think Like an Entrepreneur. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you understand that you need to start understanding the value that you're bringing wherever you are. And if you don't think that you're bringing value, ask other people. You can also do that. Ask other people. Hey, what value do you think I bring? Now, don't go ask your boss, because if you're going to ask your boss what value do you bring to the company, your boss might question whether or not you need to be there. So go ask your colleagues or your friends what it is that they think that you bring to the table if you don't know what you bring to the table. And if you want to skill up, go ahead and skill up, right? Especially in these times. Now, a lot of people are home because this is where the world is right now. And some people have time on their hands. So if you have time on your hands and you want to learn a new skill, go ahead and skill up, right? Also understand where your value is being, where you are being appreciated. And when you're not being valued and appreciated, you need to think about whether or not it's time to leave, right? And thinking like an entrepreneur, it's like having an entrepreneurial mindset, which means being decisive, confident, taking responsibility, being coachable, going after those things without being scared and fearless, accepting new challenges, and not being afraid to, we're not going to say fail, right? Because that's why we're going to twist on the quote, right? Be afraid to learning from our experiences, right? When it's not what we expected. When it's something that kind of puts a pause or a halt in whatever it is that we're doing because we didn't anticipate it, right? I hope you got something out of the podcast. If you did, please leave me a review or a comment so I know you guys are listening and I know you guys are getting something from this. Next week, let me go to the schedule. Next week, I don't like that title. Maybe I might change next week. But next week, we're either going to talk about act like a writer, think like your reader. And don't think this is just for authors. It's also for content creators, right? Because if you are a content creator, like if you have a blog, it will apply to you. Or even if you don't have a blog, it's about thinking about the people that are going to consume whatever it is that you're putting out there. So don't see the title, like I've said before. Don't see the title and assume that, okay, she's talking about writers or authors, so she's not really talking about me. It's something valuable in there for everybody. So it's either going to be that, act like a writer, think like your reader, or act like a CEO, think like a creative. Because those are the next 2 episodes in the lineup. So it's either going to be one or the other next week. All right, you guys. So I will see you, or you will be listening to my voice next Wednesday. And I am out. You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information on this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaegoals.com. That's QueenBaeGoals.com. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next podcast.